Well, hey, to kick things off, Chris,
Yeah, go ahead.
first off, I want to introduce Chris from Norwegian Cruise Line. And I'm really happy that he was able to get and speak with us. And for those that don't know me, I'm Claudette with Claudette Travels. And I have this posted on meetup groups as well as on Facebook groups, mainly as should know this, single cruiser deals as a very active group. And I asked Chris to come and speak to us today because Norwegian is the leader in solo cruising. And I have been involved in travel for over a decade. And years ago, there was a survey showing that there are more single people now than married people. And I have been pushing the travel industry to uh, do more for solo cruisers. And Norwegian has heard my cry. So and they have been with the solo cabins, solo rates, and then having Chris come and present to us again tonight. So thank you for your taking your time for us this evening, Chris, and thanks for recording so others who couldn't make it are able to get your great information.
No, absolutely. Thank you for the warm introduction. And hi, everyone. So my name is Chris Kiersarsky. I am a business development manager here at Norwegian Cruise Line. So my role is to help advisors like Claudette to support their business and to be a resource into what we have to offer for you and exactly what Claudette was talking about. I mean, we're going to be talking about solo traveling. This is pretty much the meat and gravy of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Now we'll be talking about some destinations and some other things, but you know, let's put it this way: I started my travels back in '98. I'm 35, so you can do the math if you want. I was what 8 or 9 years old, but that's where I started cruising, and I got hooked on it. My family started doing it, and we just went cruises and cruises and cruises. Then I got older, and my parents were like, "Well, if you want to go on your own cruise, you gotta pay for it yourself." So, and I didn't have a girlfriend or anything at the time, but I still love cruising, and so I went out, and sometimes I travel by myself cruising, and even to this day, I'm about to go on two cruises in the next 2 weeks, and I'm by myself. I'm not with my family. Now, is it work related? Sure. So I have people that I know, but I'm in a room by myself, and I'm traveling by myself. So there's plenty of people to go around and plenty of fish in the sea. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And it really is growing. Solo travel is growing. And did you know that Norwegian Cruise Line was actually the innovator in making this happen for solo guests? So, really, the best experiences last a lifetime, and solo travel is one of them. So, when you cruise solo with us, you'll enjoy the freedom and choice. Either, and we'll get into this, you can choose from a solo balcony, ocean view, inside, or even our studio cabins. And also, all these different staterooms have access to our studio lounge, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But it's really about the savings because when you are a solo traveler, you're like, "Ah, why do I have to pay for two people?" Well, we take that into consideration, and these staterooms are actually priced for one. So you can come aboard with friends or family, or if you just want to meet some new people, if you want to just watch the sunset from your own private balcony and not have to worry about anyone else, you can do it all right there.
Oh,
So,
and Chris, I have to interject. I think it is so cool that Norwegian has solo balcony cabins.
and
Because,
that's fairly new. That's fairly
yeah,
new, and
awesome.
we'll be getting into that. Don't you worry. But that's huge. Because I like to travel in a balcony. Everyone should travel in a balcony, in my opinion. You just get to see much more of the world that you normally won't actually in say like an inside or ocean view. So that's just my 2 cents. But 18% of global bookings are actually from solo travelers, and it's growing 7%. So I'm going to give you some little statistics here, but there's a reason for it. Search trends for solo travel, it's increased 670 or 206 267%. Um, so it keeps growing. It keeps growing, and then 76% of people travel alone or are considerate, regardless of age, gender, nationality. So just something to consider. And when we put it all together, this is what it looks like. Okay, so it's not like solo travelers are just over here. It's growing, and it continues to grow. So more than 80 million Americans are considering solo travel in, well, it says 2023, but there's even more in 2024. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So, but why are people traveling solo? Well, I want me time. I want my time. Like, I will say, Lily, right now, my daughter is the next room over, and she had a total breakdown today. I don't know what happened. She just went all over the place. I'm like, okay, this is where I would love to just be by myself for like 2 seconds, right? So it's the me time away from your families, not to say that you don't want them to go, but sometimes you need your own break, and that's important. Um, so being able to socialize and create your own tribe, if you want to, per se. And actually, women prioritize opportunities to meet other like-minded women as part of a community travel experiences. So that's something also to consider. I mean, not to say that us men don't want to get together as well, but just these are the statistics that I'm putting out here. So just keep that in mind. And the top reasons why people want to travel solo is to feel free, independent, and also in control. Like, for example, when I'm on a cruise or any
I
vacation,
don't think I'm ready
you
for this.
I don't want to be on a schedule. Okay. That's just me. All right. So if people want to do this at this time, so on and so forth, that's not me. I want to sleep in because I never had the opportunity to sleep in. So you have control of what you really, really want to do. So, and of course, traveling together, you can make your own group with it. So feel free to reach out to others and gain new experiences. And where are people? Where have they cruised to? Well, these are the trends right now. Mostly Caribbean. It's somewhere close to us. Also Europe, Alaska, and this isn't just for solos. This is actually the trend for most of all of our bookings that we see. But keep in mind that we are a global company. We go to all 7 continents. We go over to all over 400 different destinations all over the world. So the world is your oyster. But if you want something quick, easy, Caribbean, of course, you can do a hop, skip, and jump to Europe, and Alaska. Technically, is in our backyard, so it's definitely a really great place to go to. And of course, as Claudette had mentioned, we have our solo balconies and ocean view staterooms, and this is fairly new to us. So continuing our history of innovation and our guest first philosophy, we spot an opportunity to deliver more solo options for our guests. And nearly 3/4 of solo traveler bookings, and we're talking 2022, 2023, 2024. And the reason why I'm putting just 2022 in here is we have pandemic. All right. We all went through it. It happened. And I want to show you the trends beginning there to what it is today, because the solo traveling has gone significantly more and more since 2022. And maybe that had to do with pandemic. I don't know, but those are the trends that we're seeing. So a lot were for inside, as you can see, balcony, of course, ocean view, and some others, maybe the Haven, the studio cabin. So, but really, when you go with us, it's the freedom and flexibility to travel solo that really means it all. And you can visit multiple destinations easily, all on your own. So, just want to point that out. And again, we have increased solo stateroom availability. It's more than doubled, more than doubled. So definitely want to make sure that you are aware that, hey, we are looking out for our solo travelers. I travel solo again myself. So across our 20 some plus ships now, we've added a additional 922 solo staterooms, 400 in insides, 100 in about 50 in ocean views, and over 300 in balconies. So keep that in mind. And obviously, it's being recognized. We are a global brand, and you can see there Forbes, Inside, the Insider, Travel and Leisure, and that's why our cruise line is literally the best for solo travelers. So just want to make sure that you are aware of that. Now let's talk about these new categories. All right, almost 1,000 dedicated solo staterooms available fleet wide, and this is beyond what any other cruise line does. We offer not only our studio cabins, which we'll get into a second, but we also offer our regular inside ocean view and balcony staterooms just for a solo cabin, and you're no longer paying double occupancy rates for those. So just something to keep in mind. But what can you expect when you do book one of those categories or our studio staterooms? You'll have your own access key card to our studio lounge. Ooh, wow, the crowd goes wild. Now, this is actually a really cool space, and it's available, I want to say, to most of our ships now, if not all of them. But it's a dedicated space to relax. There's a bar equipped with beer and wine and a variety of snacks served daily. I will say I actually had the chance to stay in our studio cabins and the studio lounge on board Prima, one of our newer ships, and just we have this espresso machine. I'm not sure if you like coffee or espresso, or if you want to make a mocha laco, whatever you need to do. It's really, really good. So we have one of those in this lounge. But we also have solo events on board. So if you are traveling solo, we have happy hours, we have dinners, we have drinks, and more. So there's plenty of opportunities to meet other solo travelers while you're on board with us. So just want to make sure you're aware of that. So this is what it is. We have the solo studio. This is our T1 category. We have the solo inside, which is IT. So I for inside, O for ocean view, B for balcony. And then the T, that means it's solo. Okay, so T1, that just means very basic. This is a sample room of our balcony. It's like a boutique hotel. Okay, that's how large the room is, the stateroom. So imagine being there by yourself. There's plenty of space and places to lounge around. Even I feel like the sofa is bigger than the bed. I've been on Prima and Viva quite extensively, and trust me, this is one of my favorite staterooms to have on board any ship. So just keep that in mind. But we do have it for most of our ships that is available. And actually, I'll show you. How about that? So Viva Prima. So we originally had 73 solo staterooms. We added 20 to each ship. This is the breakdown. So it's not a lot, but it's more than what it was before. And of course, our Breakaway Plus, Breakaway, Epic, Jewel, Dawn, Private America, Sun, and Spirit class. And actually, that studio lounge that I was talking to you about, this is the one on Prima and Viva. So it's very spacious. Again, plenty of places to sit, snacks over here. That's the espresso machine that I was telling you about, and much, much more. And it goes even beyond from what you see right here. So again, this is a private lounge only shared by solo guests, complimentary coffee, espresso, snacks, and much, much more. So here's the question. Where are you cruising to next? All right. So that's my question to you is where are you going next? What are you thinking about? What's a bucket list destination or, something, someplace that you've never been? I've personally never been to Alaska except for last year. That was the first time ever that I've been to Alaska. I used to be an advisor just like Claudette, and I was an advisor for about 5 years. I sold Alaska plenty of times. I had many clients go to Alaska, but I'd never been myself. So when I had the opportunity to go there, it was breathtaking. You can take all the pictures that you want, but until you're actually there and you see it for yourself with your own eyes, it just changes your whole perspective in life. So that's something to think about. But one of my favorite destinations is Hawaii. All right, so we have a really great itinerary, and this is just one out of the blue here, but this is always going to be 7 days round trip Honolulu. All right. So what I love about Hawaii is that you start right from the get-go. Since Private America is a U.S. registered ship, there's no need to include any lengthy sailing from the U.S. mainland or stop at a foreign port. So we have year-round, convenient weekly Saturday departures from the port of Honolulu that visits 4 islands in 7 days. No need to hassle for those inter-island flights. So sure, island hopping might sound fun in theory, but you're wasting precious vacation time, trying to book flights, staying around the airports, and spending more and more money. But by cruising with us, you actually maximize your island time. So there's over 100 hours in port, including 2 overnight stays in Maui and Hawaii. You only have to unpack once, so you're really maximizing your time. And guess what? Hawaii, for those who didn't know, it is a U.S. state. So
Right.
no passport is required for U.S. citizens. That's right. It is a U.S. state. Not many people know that, which is kind of scary, but it's all good. That's why we're talking about it today. But Hawaii is really great for families. So if you like to dive into the culture, whether you are a golfer, looking for a romantic getaway, or you're a honeymooner, weddings, there's plenty of culture and art. Um, just sightseeing. If you want to go surfing, if you want to go scuba diving, it's all right there. And really, Hawaii is the best way to do it. And this is the Pride of America. She's such a beautiful ship. And keep in mind, this itinerary is all about the destination. Now, grant, beautiful ship, the Pride of America, but it's all about the destination. So, but however, we have local entertainment that will come on board. We have plenty of dining options that will actually bring Hawaiian culinary experiences served by local Hawaiian cuisines, um, whether it be a pineapple beurre blanc with a fresh seafood or papaya with an Asian short rib or a variety of different tropical juices. We all bring that on board. In fact, they actually have fresh juices from the island and Kona ground coffee in the buffet area. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, you get to visit 4 different islands, 5 different ports. So Oahu, Maui, Hilo, Kona, Kauai. You actually have those 2 overnights as well. We did have, of course, with Maui, the terrible tragedy. Us as a brand, we actually donated $50,000 to the Maui United Way. That was back last year, I believe. And I mean, so much has happened since then, but we are going back to Maui. And so any support that you can give, definitely want to make sure that you are aware of this itinerary and what we do for Hawaii. We've been there for quite some time. We used to have 3 ships there at one time, but now we just have Private America, and she is sailing just fine and doing her thing over in Hawaii. Then we also have Canada and New England. So this is one of the cruises that actually Claudette has available, not only Hawaii, but also Canada and New England, and specifically this itinerary right here. So you start in New York, you go to Newport, Portland, Bar Harbor, St. John, Halifax. It's a really great itinerary. Even Halifax, that's probably one of my favorite ports, and it is for a reason. It's one of the highest rated ports in the Northeast Canada. Great itineraries that our guests are looking for, and it's all about the foliage. We all want to see the foliage, right? So if you go later September into early October, but you can even go even earlier to see the foliage. But either way, it's the best time to see it. We also actually have a new port out of Philadelphia that is going to Canada, New England. So I'm not sure where y'all are from, but just want to point that out. It is a new port. We not only have 2025, but we also have 2026 available as well. And even Newport, that was actually it's actually new to that area. We were on the Escape last year, and we were the biggest cruise ships. We were the biggest cruise ship that had ever gone to that area. And Newport is just amazing. That's where you can see all the mansions. I mean, that's where you get to see where Jay Leno lives, Judge Judy. And I had the opportunity to tour all that, and it's just a really cool town. So, but all of them are fantastic. So definitely want to make sure that you were aware of that. And of course, we have a lot of transatlantic cruises, and it's just a matter of when you're looking to go, whether it be from New York to Europe or Europe to New York. Maybe Claudette, you might have a couple in mind that you want to talk about, but just wanted to mention those. There were so many itineraries I didn't want to put a specific one. So if you want to talk about that, maybe so. I don't know, but that's
Now
it
let
for
me
me.
unmute myself here.
But that's
Yeah,
it for me. But
yeah, I had looked at, I was asking about the Norwegian cruises because I'm here in Seattle and I've been doing repositioning cruises for the last over 10 years.
mhm.
And the solo cruiser deal group, people were saying, well, hey, we want to do something like that in New England. So I was looking at your wonderful itineraries. You did have a lot of them. And then also people brought to mind the transatlantic cruises that you do, and you offer such great solo rates on those, both in with the solo cabins and all. Would you be able to talk about your transatlantic cruises a little bit?
Yeah, like I said, it really is dependent on when you're looking to go, how you want to go. Normally, our transatlantics, where you go see them is the transition from the wintertime in the Caribbean, and usually you'll see it between April and May, and they'll move their way to Europe. Normally, they're out of New York or Miami, but it's just a matter of what you're looking at. We also have those coming back from Europe down to the Caribbean. So it's just a matter of when you're looking to go, how you want to do that. But they range in I mean, you're looking mostly over 10 days. I would say most of them are 12 to 14 days, sometimes even more, depending on how long that you're looking to go for. But you're looking at your main ports, whether it be in New York, um, Spain, Lisbon, Miami. So you're going to be looking at those main hubs into whether you want to do a transatlantic. And also, we have a lot of new ships doing these. So we're talking like Viva, Aqua, Encore, Prima. But we also have some smaller ships. We also have like the Sky and the Star. It's just a matter of what type of experience that you're looking for and how you want to do that. But like I said, for the most part, you're looking between April, sometimes a little bit earlier, maybe March, and also October, November. That's where you're going to see most of your transatlantic opportunities to come through.
Yeah, and you had a little special for those wonderful group that joined us for tonight.
Well, I always have a special. Always got a special going on. But no, for those who are joining in or even even those that may be tuning on, So I would probably say, oh, let's do maybe the next 2 weeks. So maybe through the 18th. How about
Oh,
that? October the 18th. Um, Special. So I'll be adding a $50 onboard credit. How about that?
oh, wonderful.
And a bottle of wine and chocolate covered strawberries. So you get to enjoy some onboard credit, bottle of wine, chocolate covered strawberries, as long as you book within the next 2 weeks. So again, through October 18th, we'll go with that. Is that cool, Claudette?
Yeah.
And
You said a
again,
bottle of champagne or a bottle of wine?
well, I mean, uh, champagne is champagne. I would say sparkling wine,
Sparkling wine. Okay.
sparkling wine.
Yes.
So whatever you want, if you want white, red, just just let us know. But either way, through the 18th, $50 onboard credit. You can use it for anything, whether it be spa, it can be short excursions, it could be that something in the gift shop. That's up to you to decide how you want to do that. This is on top of every single offer that you will see out there. So whatever it is, we'll take care of that, and yeah, just let us know. So again, this is my this is me helping Claudette and her agency, and this isn't, you can't see this on ncl.com. Let's put it that way. So thank you again for joining in, and hopefully you all got something out of the solo cabins.
Right. Oh, and before we go into Q&A, then thank you so much. One other thing I wanted you to touch on, the Cruise First vouchers
Yeah.
program.
No, this is great. So let me just pull it up real quick. But basically, even right now we have a really special, it's a special that goes on. It only comes every now and then. But basically Cruise First, it is an opportunity to double your money. Who wants to double their money? Lori, Sam, you want to double your money? Maybe, sure. Why not? Okay. Hey, it's free money.
Yes,
So
it is. Yeah.
basically, and yeah, so basically, what it is, it's an opportunity to put down a deposit for a future cruise. So you pay $250, and you get a certificate valued at $500. So again, you're doubling your money, and that $500 can be applied towards the balance of your upcoming cruise. So, say for example, it's $2,000 for your upcoming cruise. You can purchase this for $250, and you can take off $500. So your balance now leaves you at $1,500. Hopefully, my math is correct. All right, good. Basically, it's for any 6+ day cruise, as long as you do it at least 120 days out from sailing, so outside final payment. But this is a great way for you to double your money and save more with us. It's totally transferable. There's no expiration date anymore. So once you purchase it, you can have it for the rest of your life. That's up to you. But you can totally transfer it to other people. So if you have a friend, family member, or me, if you want to transfer it to me, that's cool too.
Funny.
Uh, you can totally do that. But no, I'm kidding. No, that's the opportunity that you have with CruiseFirst. We created this during pandemic when we only had Cruise Next at the time, which is our onboard program. So we were just looking for another way to save our guests some money here and there, and that's CruiseFirst. So it acts as a deposit for a future cruise. So all you have to do is go ahead and put it there. And like I said, transferable and no expiration date. You beat me to the punch. Shoot.
Well, I I was on another presentation with Chris a few days ago, and he hinted at this happening because they're usually $300 for $150.
Correct.
And so those of us that are in the know, not just travel agents, but like other avid Norwegian cruisers, are always watching. Oh, when is it going to be 500? When is it going to be 500? So those who are
Right.
on the Solo Cruiser Deals Facebook group, I gave them a little teaser. I didn't tell them what, because you didn't tell us what. So I was following your lead and
Hey, I
just
can
letting
only tell
you
so
know.
much,
Yes.
but it's available now. So here we are.
Yes.
So it is available. So no, that's great. I love how you put that in there. And I saw Sam. Why does NCL limit the number of days before or after a cruise on airfare? Are you talking about when you can deviate 2 days prior, 2 days after? Is that what you mean, Sam?
That's all you can get. If I want to be there, I don't see why NCL cares. If I come there a month before, why not? I mean, what difference does it
Sure.
make?
Sure. I
And
mean, no, that's a great question. I mean, we do have contracted rates. So think of it like this. 2026, do you think you can get a flight right now for 2026?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
No. So think of it this way. Can you get a flight for 2026 right now? You can't.
It's not. I'm real late in 2025 right this minute, but yeah.
Right.
Uh,
So we're locking in prices and schedules now compared to later on. So that's why it's a little bit limited. Most people always come in, 1 to 2 days prior. You can do customized air with us if you would like. It will cost more, and you will actually deviate from our BOGO plan. But being a solo traveler, I don't think it would make a difference, right? So you can always customize air with us, and you can come in even earlier than that. It's just a matter of it's good come at extra cost.
Mhm.
well, yeah, but then that kind of takes away why book with you guys if it's going to cost me more money. I mean, that's why I'm doing
Sure.
a so
Yeah.
from London to Miami
Yeah.
and
No.
I was a week in London and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get my airfare through you guys.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I understand. And you have options, and you can always compare apples to apples to what we have to offer versus maybe going direct or other third party opportunities. It's just a matter of what best suits you, what fits your schedule, what fits your budget, and what works best for you. So what I always recommend is putting on air on the beginning of your reservation. That way it's locked in. Okay, we have air, it's already locked in. And then down the road, maybe a year out or maybe towards final payment, maybe get with Claudette and you can go over your options to see, okay, I want to do the air with Norwegian or do I not? Again, it's a choice and we got to figure out what is the best option for you. Because to be honest with you, our air is not for everyone. It's not. For example, if you have two reservations traveling together, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be on the same flight. And it's part of our terms and conditions. So one of the things I'll put actually in the chat here is our air service standards. So I would highly recommend. Who reads terms and conditions?
I'm
No.
sorry.
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, good. No one ever puts their hand up. Uh, so I'll put that in the chat for you so you can read over it. And like I said, it's your choice, and it is an option if you want to add it to your vacation. That's up to you to decide how you want to do that. But again, going back to your original question, it's because we have contracted air, and we can only do so much with that contracted air.
Well, other cruise lines can do other things. That's
Sure.
why I ask.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
then that's
No.
also the
And
benefit of working with a travel agent too. So what you couldn't get with Norwegian directly, I can work with you and I work with other partners that have air and hotel packages and some specifically for people coming in early for cruises. And then since I'm not sure how the rates would compare to Norwegian, but as Chris said, when you're asking for more flexibility, then you're paying for that. But working with a travel agent like myself, you're not going to be paying as much as if you were putting it together yourself. So again, like Chris said, there are lots of options for you if the main ones that Norwegian offers doesn't suit your plans exactly.
Okay.
yeah. And going back to Claudette being a travel advisor, I mean, they have access way more than what we may have in terms of air or transfers or hotels or, I mean, the whole package, whatever you're looking, insurance. You know, you can always do everything through us, no problem, you know, using Claudette as your advisor, but there's also other options that might be suitable for you. So, you know, for example, like insurance. If you want a really defined and robust insurance, um, that covers your needs, it's a matter of looking into that maybe with a third party compared to us. So it, you know, it's just a matter of what you're looking for, how you want to do it, and what that looks like that works best for you. Because everyone's different. Sam might have something compared to Lori, and Lori might have something different than Daisy. So it's just a matter of what works best for you and how we can best fit that for you. Make sense?
Yeah, and that's exactly what Chris is saying. Working with a travel advisor like myself, I can help you customize a package that suits you versus something that's out there for the general public, for people to fit into what's offered versus seeing what's offered and make it fit for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and I wanted to get another clarification, Chris, since we did have other
Sure.
people that had signed up, but weren't able to attend. That offer that you were saying for people to book up to the October 18th, is that for just those that are on live or people that watch
Doesn't
the
matter.
recording later?
Whoever wants to book.
Okay, great. Thank you. That is
Whoever
very
wants
nice
to
of you.
book. Of
Yeah.
course.
I'll have
No.
them watch the video too. They have to watch the video. Well, they have to watch the video to know what the
Hey,
offers are. So,
well, you know what? How about this? Let's do a secret code. Let's say studio is the secret code.
oh, I like that.
Right? So studio is the secret code.
Yeah.
So yeah, now watch the video and yeah, of course. I mean, again, you're not gonna get that anywhere else. That's one of the benefits of you know, like I said, I work for Norwegian Cruise Line, and working with Claudette and working with you all to make sure that you have a great experience once you come on board. So, are there any other questions? Anything that we
Yes.
missed, or yeah, Lori, you
Uh,
have a question?
I have questions.
Okay.
So first of all, thank you. This has been super helpful. I appreciate it. I'm actually going on my first ever cruises. They're both Norwegian. They're both solo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing. I hope I like it. My first one's November 10th, the Mexican Riviera. And
Okay.
my second one is through the Panama Canal from Miami back to Seattle.
Okay.
And on that one, there were no solo balconies available except for guaranteed rooms. And as I
Okay.
read that, you could end up being put somewhere maybe not as great. It'd still be a balcony, and I understand they're unobstructed, but I don't want to be above or below something really noisy. So
Right.
I did go with just a regular balcony cabin and paid more. And I know Sam asked the same question. If we're booked in a regular balcony as a solo, do we get access to the solo lounge or no? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, unfortunately, no, unless you were booked in one of the categories that I was talking to you about, like the BT, the OT, the IT. However, we do have lots of solo programming on board. So
Yes.
what I recommend is look at your freestyle daily, and that's the a sheet of paper that you're gonna get on your bed every single night. And you can also see on your app. There are tons and tons of solo meetups. I remember being on, I think this was just about a year ago. I was having a cocktail before dinner, and all of a sudden I just see like 200 people show up in the lounge that I was in, and I was like, where are all these people? And they said solos. So like, there's a lot of people that travel solo. Another thing, and this has nothing to do with Norwegian Cruise Line. This is just me talking. But you might want to check with Cruise Critic. Sometimes they'll have what we call or what they call roll calls. So something to think about.
I
Um,
posted on Facebook for both of my
you
cruises.
can look at Facebook. That's great. Cruise Creek is another one where you can look at roll calls. And that's just, you just find the ship and sailing and get to connect with other people. Not to say that they're all solos, but it's just another way to meet up with people. And then just, of course, just put your friendly face on and just say hi to people. You're on a cruise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have found the people on cruises are so friendly and welcoming, and so much more willing to strike up a conversation than any other travel that I've done. I just did a solo cruise a couple of months ago, and some people saw me walking by and they invited me over to their group, and it was a whole group of friends, and they just included me right in their group. And I was kind of being a little shy. I just hosted a cocktail party, so it was like, whew, I got that taken care of. And so I was just decompressing, and they invited me to come over, and I hung out with them a couple of times during the cruise.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm an introvert extrovert, which doesn't make any sense. Uh, but like I like my private time. I like to be alone, and sometimes I can get a little you know, I guess what's the best way to put it? Um, Shy in a social setting, but once you open me up, like let's go. So but just be yourself, and there's plenty of opportunities to meet new people and just strike up a conversation, say, hey, how are you? I mean, something as simple as that. But either way, it's gonna be a great time. Just curious, the Panama Canal one, what ship are you on?
The Encore.
Beautiful. That's my favorite ship. The crew is fantastic. The ship itself, I mean, I took my own personal vacation on there last December with my wife and daughter, and she's 3 years old. So like, if that's my favorite ship by far. So you'll absolutely love it. Go to the observation lounge as you're going through the Panama Canal. Get your seat early, but yeah, it's a fantastic ship.
I'm looking forward to it. It's 21 days. Um, and are you guys booking Eclipse to
So
cruises now?
yeah, it's funny that you say that because I had a lot of requests. So I'm in Dallas, Texas. So I actually got to see the full like eclipse actually
Oh,
when it came through. And it was very well, mesmerizing. Where literally the streetlights went on outside. Like it's just so weird. Um, so we don't have anything right now going through Iceland, but we do have a couple cruises going through Spain. I know that's one of the touch points of the eclipse. And you're talking about what, 2025, 2026,
26. Yeah,
August,
August.
August. So we have a couple of those. Let me just double check if anything has changed. But August 2026, the last I checked, we only have things in Spain. And I remember, because I was looking at the trajectory of the eclipse that is going through that area. So um, that's what I would check on. But other than that, we don't have anything in Iceland at this point, but we do have some things over in Spain. There's one in particular. It goes Lisbon to Barcelona, and I mean, I'll post the image on here so you can take a look at.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's a beautiful. I want to say, let's see here, 2026 eclipse. Yeah, I want to say that's the one. So this one goes over August 9th through August 16th. But you can see right there. I mean, it's a beautiful itinerary, and I want to say it goes over that area at that time,
oh,
or at least
nice.
around there. So it might not be the totality of the eclipse, but it's better than nothing. So that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, shoot me the itinerary. I have since we had talked about that in the solo cruiser deals group, and I have a list of cruises that do have an Eclipse cruise, and I would love to add Norwegian to the list.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I know most people are searching for Iceland, but we don't have that right now. Maybe it'll come out a little bit later, but we just don't have that. But this one I think is a good alternative,
Mhm.
because it ends in Barcelona, I want to say. So that's where you have the best chance to be seeing it, if I'm not mistaken, or close to it. Or you can always, I mean, it's the closest I could find to the Eclipse cruise that everyone's been asking for. Might not be perfect, but hey, it's close. It's close.
Yeah. Oh, and then I had a question.
Yeah.
Let me read it. What do I do as a travel agent versus the customer calling Norwegian directly? And my main thing is I'm doing the legwork for you. So you don't have to be on hold with or on the phone with people um, to follow up. You let me know what you want. We'll discuss things, and then I do all the magic behind the scenes. So I tell people a lot of people are turning to travel agents nowadays, so they don't have to do all the work. They have somebody else doing the work for them. And then it's also nice to have a point of contact for if anything happens while you're away. And then the other thing is working with a travel advisor like myself, you or I'm able to share specials like having this travel info night with Chris, letting you know when the travel first certificate rates have gone up. And then other specials that I offer during with my travel agency, we have partners of the month that are always doing special things. And then also cruise lines like Norwegian will have specials just for travel agents to share with their clients that you wouldn't be able to get on your own. And then even more importantly, we have a lot of group space available on a number of cruises. And what that means, you don't necessarily have to hang out with the group. And a lot of times people don't know each other in the group, but I'm able to book you in and get you a better rate at a group rate that you would not be able to get if you just booked on your own. So you're still getting the same great service on Norwegian, you're just getting extra service working with the travel agent.
Like it.
And do you find those group deals on your website as well?
Yes, yes. And then you can also get in touch, and I have like a very dynamic site. So when you go and look at, like, for example, go and look at the transatlantic. I'm not sure if I'm the transatlantic. I'm just switched over to a new host and I'm upgrading my site. So I'm adding these things. But we were talking about the Eclipse cruises, and you can go through there and you can change out the cruise line and like put in Norwegian, and you can even do a search to find one that has special offers. And then also on Solo Cruiser Deals Facebook group, which well, everybody is in the chat, but when in the recording, for those who are watching the recording that aren't in that group, I will put in the link for that. I also share which sailings Norwegian has reduced or waived the single occupancy fee. And they have a lot more. And it's so funny. Years ago, I was in a travel club where if you found the same cruise somewhere else, they would give it to you for free. So I was at a meetup event and we were talking, it was a travel info night or travel talk. And one gal was saying how she was calling different cruise lines to find out what the rates would be for her as a solo traveler. And one of the cruise lines had like a regular itinerary of waiving solo trips. And so that's what Norwegian is doing. And so periodically, how often is that updated, Chris?
The
The
update
sales pal
every single Monday. But
every month.
if you want every day, just shoot me an email. But every Monday in your portal. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I'm trying to develop a better cadence between you
Sure.
and some of the ones that very few actually have this as regular as Norwegian, and Norwegian has like the most available and the best is 'cause it's like
100%.
between waived or where you're paying 50% more for of the single or the per person rate. So I'm just enjoying them. And so, yeah, so that's one of the benefits of working with the travel agents that we have all of these tools. As a consumer, you can find them, but it could take you a little while. Whereas I have where I can get this information every Monday from Norwegian and I share it with people on the solo cruiser deals and in hopes that you'll turn around and book the trip with me and I can get you some extra specials. And oh, and another question, I'm based out of Seattle or the Seattle area. I'm in the greater Seattle area. Microsoft land.
Microsoft Land, yes.
Yeah. Actually, I tell people about Costco and they have like the Costco Kirkland brand. And Kirkland is actually a city. And I mentioned that because I was just there today. So I was shopping out.
Laura's like, I
Yeah.
know, I know.
Yeah.
Where I live.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hop, skipping and jump
So,
away.
any other questions? Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
hi.
I'm from, yeah, hey, I'm from Portland. So if I drive there to get on board, so where I can parking my car?
Are we talking about like Seattle or are we
Oh,
talking?
Yes,
I can
Seattle,
answer.
yes, because
Yeah, I
I
can answer
drive
that for you.
from Portland to Seattle.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of parking lots by the cruise terminal. And I believe, yeah, Norwegian cruises out. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris.
Yep.
I've cruised on Norwegian, but it wasn't out of Seattle. Are you out of Pier 91 at Smith Cove?
I want to say no. I want to
Or
say Pier 66. I want to say.
I forgot the
That's
other.
that's the problem for me. I have to think about where I can parking my car is safe.
Yeah,
you
there
know.
is. So either way, I know at Smith Cove, there are two parking lots. I'm actually going to use one of them this weekend for the overnight Pacific Northwest overnight cruise. And I've used another one previously that's just a little away from there. And they have a shuttle. They've got people out there. And I felt really good about parking there. And I've actually also parked at the other one that's near the downtown, the waterfront area. I want to say Pier 51, 61, kind of where the aquarium is in that area. There's another cruise terminal, and they have a parking lot, a building that you can park there as well. So you can I would probably suggest doing a Google map and look to see what parking garage that is, and then giving them a call because it was before the pandemic since I last parked there. So yeah, give them a call and ask your questions about security, about if they patrol. But at the time that I parked there, they did.
Here
And
we
some of
go.
them you can even reserve space in advance.
So this is right off our website. So yeah, Pier 66
There we go.
is that, and it will show is the Bell Street parking garage.
Yes, that's the one I was at.
Yep. So you can just
Cool.
take a look at that.
Cool.
But there's also other, you can Uber, you can taxi, you can, So if
Okay.
you find something that's, it's $20 a day. So if you find something more reasonable, have at it. But
That's
that's
pretty
that's
reasonable.
what we have to offer.
So I would like ask about so this time is all on the waiting list and is also I know it's pretty late, but I'm interested in October 10th is as same as this one, which is as same as October 5th.
Yeah, that's a different one. Yeah, and we can talk about that offline, but yeah,
Okay.
that's actually a 2-night cruise. But yeah, go ahead and shoot me an email. I'll put my email address here in the chat and yeah, and also if you go to my website, it has all the information about that. So Michelle is talking about, I mentioned earlier about
October
hosting the
10th.
Pacific Northwest cruises.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to try the short cruise first and then decided. So I'm very interested. You just posted to Hawaii that cruise. So also I'm
Oh
pretty
no, that one is not a cruise. The one I just posted on Meetup, that is actually
yeah
a land trip.
yeah that's okay. I
That's a
also
different one.
interested in that
Yeah.
one.
So for those who actually do want to be on land, there are
Yeah.
people that can't do cruises. So I try to accommodate everybody, but I am so looking forward to doing the island hopping on the cruise ship. I mean, oh gosh, I'm sold. Pack
Hey,
once,
you
yeah.
unpack once. That's all I gotta say. So,
Yes.
someone did ask in here from Seattle, where do cruises go to? Most of it's gonna be Alaska. Actually, I would say about 95% of it's gonna be Alaska. But we do some the other options is like the Panama Canal. So yeah, that's pretty much your only two options.
Do you do any
I
Pan-Pacific cruises out of Seattle, or is that out of Vancouver?
that's I haven't looked at it in a while. But let me do a quick search here real quick while we're at it. And also, don't forget we have Tahiti and the South Pacific Islands. Pacific Islands. Um, we also have what's called our Fire and Ice Cruise, which does a little bit of Hawaii and Alaska. So keep that in mind. I don't know how you would pack for that, but it is an
A
option.
lot of packing.
That's a lot of packing, a lot of heavy stuff, and shorts and a t-shirt. But we have plenty of Fiji, Tahiti, Hawaii, even from Fiji to Sydney, Australia. That's going to be mostly on the Norwegian Spirit. And the Norwegian Spirit actually is one of the oldest ships that we have in our fleet, but we put in like $150 million into her back in February of 2020. So think of the timing on that. So yeah, she never really had the chance to really show. And if you know our sister brand Regent, she's like a Regent ship. So it's small, it's intimate, but it's super nice. We actually took out the kids area, so you're not just, I mean, could there be kids on board? Maybe, but there's no kids area anymore. We actually put in Space Station 2, which is our adults area, and more. So just, something to consider. But I mean, we have plenty. If you want to go to Australia, to maybe do a cruise to Hawaii, to Tahiti, to Australia. Never know.
Yeah. And this is something I learned from Chris, the link that I just put in.
Okay.
That was something I learned from you on the call. So if you want to find out more about Norwegian Cruise Line, the different destinations, and even go and look at different cruises, go ahead and click on that Inspires to link. And it has my contact information on there. So if you see something that you're interested in, have questions, or want to book, you'll have my contact information there to reach out to me by phone or email. And my phone number is also a cell phone, so you can text as well.
Awesome. All righty. Any other questions?
It was great. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you everybody for coming out, and a big thank you to Chris for taking time out of his evening and presenting to us, and thank you for the offers that you've given for not just those who are able to attend, but those who are watching the video later. And remember, that special code word is
Studio.
I was testing the rest of the people to see if they knew.
Well, I had to remember as well.
I remember. Yeah, studio, like for studio cabins. That's a great thing. Yes.
Thank you.
So again, I'm Claudette with Claudette Travels. We have Chris with Norwegian Cruise Line. And thank you all for tuning in. And hopefully we'll meet up with Chris later on and find out what other fun things Norwegian Cruise Lines is doing and has in store for us.
Oh, we
Thank you,
got plenty.
everybody.
Thank you.
And
Thank you all.
Thank
Oh,
you
wait,
so
let me,
much for this.
before
Take
you
care.
end, I want to copy the chat.
Yep.
I think I can do that.
All righty.
I think it's
See ya.
just
Thank
basically.
you.